guys, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Jules, where I have real conversations with real people in real life. Black lives will always matter, and I'm giving you the conversation you didn't know that you needed. Today I'll be sitting down. Oh, before I jump into that, because I keep forgetting all my stuff, make sure you comment, like, and more importantly, share, because sharing is caring. Today I'll be sitting down with my friend Latesha. She's also the woman that made my cake. And for all of you who follow me on Instagram, this is Miss What's Eating L right here. She is here. She made my cake. Go check it out. Check out her page. She has plenty of cake. She's taking orders. Now, if you live across the country, I don't think she can deliver across the country. But if you're within the Philadelphia area, hit Miss What's Eating L up and she will hook you up. My cake was bomb. It was literally gone in like 20 minutes. I was like, what happened to my cake? I wanted a piece. I did get a piece though. I did get a piece.
Good. Glad you liked it.
It was delicious. It was delicious. So I am sitting down with Latesha today because Latesha is biracial. And just want to get into like, what that was like, how it's been. I mean, because aesthetically looking at Latesha, when I first met her in high school, I was like, she's Puerto Rican, she's Spanish. She doesn't really look biracial. I didn't know she was Black until my later years. Just being honest. I mean, I should have known with a name like Latesha. That's stereotyping, but
Latesha Chantel. That's my middle name. All right.
Yeah. All right. So now we
talk about it.
Definitely Black. Okay. Definitely Black. But knowing a little bit about your story, I know your mom was white, your dad was Black, and you spent most of your time with your mom.
Yep.
So I guess just coming up, how was that for you? Like, what did you identify as a kid?
Okay. I feel like I have a very unique situation because my mom was white. She was raised in Iowa, like on the farm, like white.
Okay.
But in her soul, deep down inside, she was really Black.
Okay. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
She got in trouble as a child because she loved Black people, and they were just like, what the hell, right?
Okay.
So my mom was white. My dad is very much Black, and she raised me. She had a conversation with me early on, and she told me, listen, your dad is Black, I'm white, you're biracial, you're mixed, whatever the term was in the early 90s. But I need you to understand that no matter which way you slice it, dice it, saute it, julienne it, you will never be considered white in this country. Period.
Okay.
And the reality is that Black people are more likely to be accepting of you than white people are. Now, people might not know what you are. They might think you're Spanish, right? Or whatever. But you're never going to be mistaken for white.
Okay. That answers the question. So you knew from a very early age that you identified as Black and you were a black girl with a white mom. I mean, I brought that up because even within my family, both of my parents are Black. So that makes me Black. I mean, one drop of Black blood, you Black, so it doesn't even matter. But both of my parents are Black. Neither of my parents have any other ethnic. I always say this wrong, but any other ethnic background. Yes, any other ethnic background. A lot of my family is my skin tone. However, my dad's side, they're darker skinned, and my grandmother was darker skinned. My dad's mom. And I can remember being a kid being like, oh, well, I'm white because you're Black and I'm not. So that's why I asked, like, what did you identify as? Because even though I had Black parents, I still, like, in my mind, because everybody around me was different shades, I was like, well, I'm light, so I must be white. So that's why that question came up.
It's funny. You remember when we were little and we had like those standardized tests, and you would have to like bubble, like the Scantron, right? Like the state testing. Whenever that first one was, it must have been first grade. They gave me my test and it had my label, Latesha Hill, my grade, whatever, and it had my race as white. I went home and I said, Mom,
did you see
fix it? Yeah. I was like, what is this? I'm not white, right? Because she had that conversation with me. I said, you need to fix this. So she went up to the school and she fixed it, and I've been Black on paper ever since, okay?
And don't get it twisted. And don't get it twisted.
This was me at 6 years old, and that's truly, she raised me to be that, and I've never looked back.
Oh, well, there's that.
It's weird though. I think I maybe I've like asserted my blackness a little more. I guess like when I was a little kid, people would ask me what I was, and I would say, okay, I'm black, I'm this, that, and the third. Now I just kind of say I'm black because to me, it's the same thing. I think I've learned that black is so diverse. It's African American, it's Caribbean, it's African, it's biracial, multiracial, whatever. It doesn't mean the same thing. And that's something that I've learned as my worldview has changed as I've grown up, but never questioned my blackness.
Does that question ever bother you though? That like, well, what are you? Because to me, I get that question too, and I'm like, I'm black. I don't know why you keep asking. Like I've gotten, well, are you Haitian or are you mixed with Asian? No, I'm just black. But I know for me, I'm like, why are we asking this? Either way you look at it, either way you spin it, I'm black. So why are we asking this question?
It doesn't bother me because I was always curious about people's ethnicities. I thought you were mixed in high school. So there we have it.
Well,
I think because I was black, but I guess looked a little different. Whenever I would like my mixed radar would go off on people, I would want to know like what you were. Like, are you black? Are you black and white? Are you black and Asian? Are you Latino? I would always be curious. I still do now. Like if I see a celebrity, I'm like, oh, they look a little. I'll go on Wikipedia and figure out what they are.
I do that sometimes too. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, not that it makes a difference in anything, but it's kind of like nice to see that, I think. So it doesn't bother me, I think, as long as it's well intentioned.
Okay.
I've had it not be well intentioned. I've had people question, like, well, you can't be black because your skin tone or the texture of your hair. People arguing that because my mom is white, that somehow dilutes my blackness. Like those sorts of questions piss me off. But just like hey, are you this, that doesn't bother me. I think too, if there's any one part of my physical appearance that has given me the most trouble as a biracial person, it has been my hair. I think you and I are not too far off in skin color. Like it's not abnormal.
I mean, I got a tan nail. I've been tanning, so I've been at that pool.
You have been baking, but no, like black people are my skin color, and that's not abnormal,
right?
But it's like my hair, like I would straighten it to kind of fit in with the white girls, but I couldn't. In my mind, I didn't think I could like get braids or anything like the black girls, or get like the twisty.
Like you can't kink it. Like there's no kink to your hair. You have no kink at all.
Right, and like I just got braids for the first time last year, and like I never thought that like it was appropriate or acceptable for me to do that, and I was like, okay, it's like I don't feel like I can do these things to fit in with the black girls, and if I want to try to fit in with the white girls hair wise, like I gotta straighten and do all these things to my hair. And this is me thinking as a teenager, and so that was like the one piece where it was always kind of hard for me, and the way my hair is determines how people view me. I noticed. I get much fewer questions now that my hair is short. As to my blackness, it's not as like jarring to people. They're like, oh, short. You got a black girl, pixie. Okay.
They probably like, oh, your perm you got that perm, girl. Yes, your perm is laid.
But yeah, much fewer questions now. But when my hair was curly, it was like, oh, you're Latino. If it's straight, when it was straight, everyone thought I was Indian, like in college. Like, so I don't know. I just feel like hair. Yeah, and I hung around a bunch of them. But I just think like hair was the one piece of me that I think makes me really a chameleon and really affects how people view me. And
there we have it. So I guess transitioning into the newest news we have about Kamala Harris. I know. Let's just talk about it. Let's just put it out there. So there's all this talk about, she's not a real black woman because her mom was Indian and her dad is Jamaican. Like, does that negate from the fact that we still are going to get a black female vice president? So we can get into existence. It's gonna happen. So I'm
Come
speaking.
on.
Like, does
Put
it
that
negate?
juju on it.
Yes. Put that juju on that boat.
I think it's a layered conversation. I'm gonna try to bullet point it in my head because I'm a Virgo. So I got
Right.
So there's the Black and Indian thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to not feel Black enough for the Black people, and not, in my case, white enough for the white people. And so I imagine at some point she's experienced these things, and we're seeing that play out amongst the Black people. It's like, okay, you're Black, but you're not quite Black enough because you've got this Indian mother. And you look at her, she went to Howard. She's an AKA. How much
you can't get more Black than that? You can't get more Black than that.
Asymmetrical cut in the 80s. What do you want from her?
Hey, like, salt and pepper's here and we're in effect. Like,
okay.
That was playing in the dorm room. I'm pretty sure that was in the dorm room all the time. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So it's like, I'm very frustrated with the Black community for having, and again, not talking about her policies, because that's another conversation, but her as a Black woman, I don't understand what else you want from her. You get upset with biracial people when they don't acknowledge and fully step into their Blackness. Because I've heard that. Mm-hmm. And then you get mad at biracial people when they do actually do it. And acknowledge it and love it and accept it. So what, her skin is fair. So what, her blowouts be on point. but yeah, it's just, that part is so frustrating. I don't understand what her skin color and her hair color has to do in terms of acknowledging her Blackness.
Like, we're never satisfied. Right. We're never satisfied. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Right. And instead of taking this moment and being incredibly proud that a Black woman has made it to this level where she will potentially be the vice president of America, and taking the time to just critique her policies and really deep dive into her voting history. And those are things that we should be arguing about, not like her blowout. I just think that's ridiculous.
So before we close out, I just wanted to know, what does being biracial mean to you?
Biracial to me just means I've got one parent of one race, another parent of another race. They had fun one night and made me. That is literally what it means.
Come on, fun.
It is just it is just that simple. It doesn't make me feel different so much anymore. I feel like a lot of us are mixed and biracial, multiracial, whatever at this point. Mm-hmm. So when I was little, I felt different, but like now I just feel like regular. Just normal. I'm sorry, it's not a very prophetic answer.
It's your answer. It's fine. It's your answer, and I'm okay with that. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Conversations with Jules. Again, if you have not subscribed, now is the time. Click it, comment, like, share, do what you have to do. Let everybody know about this. I sat down with Latesha. We talked about biracialness. That's a new word. I just made it up. Talked about biracialness. We talked about Kamala. We put a little Beyonce on that. But again, now's the time to subscribe. And I thank you guys for listening in. Latesha, you have any last words?
No, I guess thank you guys for just listening to my experiences and for appreciating them, hopefully. And
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. See you. Bye.